See this? I've been trying to live stream. I have been live streaming for almost like an hour now. And just now I get to know that my live stream was not live. I was not live. Okay, nice. See this? I've been trying to. Pretty good. Very good. Okay, so now let's move. Hello everyone, I am Baltej and I am a college student studying in Thapar, and currently it's 6:30 of the evening. I am here after my classes, after my exhausting classes, and here I sit learning Rust because I have some projects in my mind which I want to make, and those are super cool, super good projects. Some assistive level, some other like some internet kind of like networking projects, and I was thinking to learn Rust. I was thinking to use Rust for them because it was best suited because of the rich crates because of the rich packages that the Rust offers, because of which I was thinking to learn Rust, and that's what I was doing. So while learning ownership and other, I came across this function, this line. Rust won't let us annotate a type with copy if type or any of its part has implemented the drop trait. So I was genuinely confused. What do they mean by a trait? What do they mean by copy trait, copy type, annotate? Then I checked ChatGPT quickly and I found out that annotate is like something like if exists here exists a function. Let's say function hey, then something like this. For example, one, and here I put derive and clone and copy something like this, and I don't know what it's do currently, what this derive kind of thing do, but I'm learning and I can't expect that I should know everything, so it's okay. I'll just what we call leave this line for now, and then I'll crazy man crazy I leave this line for now, and then I'll go. And then I read ahead. For a lot of time, I've been forgetting words, what to say. It's not with English. It's not that my English is bad. By the way, it is. And it's not with my. I'm even forgetting words in Hindi, in Punjabi, in my own languages. Punjabi is my own language, and still I'm forgetting words in it. I don't know. My brain power has reduced. Okay. So what types implement the copy trait? You can check the documentation for given type to be sure, but a general rule: any group of simple scalar value can implement copy. Copy is something that copy is just shallow copy, and clone is the deep copy. Copy is shallow copy. Perfect. It's the shallow copy thing. So if I do this, for example, will it run? No. Because A is a string has drop in it. For example, A dot drop. Ownership and functions. The mechanism of passing a value to a function are similar to those when assigning a value to a variable. Okay, passing a variable to function will move or copy, just as assignment does. Assignment does move or copy. Exactly, assignment does move or copy based on if the data is stored on heap, then it does a move. It is if it is stored on a stack, then it does copy. Basically, if the integer, if the type has defined size, then it does copy, and if it has not defined, undefined size, like infinite, theoretically, then it does move. Listing 4.3 have an example with some annotations showing where variable go into and out of scope. For example, file name, source main rs, function main let s is equal to string from hello. We created s, then takes ownership. Okay, what is this function? Takes ownership. S value moves into the function. This function takes ownership of the s. Now x is equals to 5. Makes copy x, because i32 implements the copy trait. X does not move into the function. Okay, because i32 implements the copy trait. That's why x does not move into the function. It's copied into the function, so it's okay to use x afterwards. Okay, this makes sense. Here x goes out of scope, then s, however, s value was moved, nothing special happens here. Okay. First x goes out of scope. Why? Because okay, first x goes out of scope, then s, however, s value was moved, nothing special happens here. Function takes ownership, some string, makes copy, some string. Okay, this is a very good example. If we try to use s after the call to takes ownership, Rust would throw compile time error. These static checks protect us from mistakes. Try adding code to main that use s and x to see where you can use them and where the ownership rules prevent you from doing so. Let's try to run it. Let's not. Return values and scope. Returning values can also transfer ownership. Listing 4.4 shows an example of a function that returns some value with similar annotation as those in listing 4.3. We write a function gives ownership. Okay, the ownership rules are somewhat understandable. S3 string from hello, S2 comes into scope, takes and gives back. S2 is moved into takes and gives back, which also moves its return value into S3. The ownership of variable follows the same pattern every time. Assigning a value to another variable moves it. Assigning when a variable that includes data on the heap goes out of scope, the value will be cleaned up by drop unless ownership of the data has been moved to another variable. Okay, when the last owner dies, then the data is cleaned. Variable that includes data on the heap goes out of scope, then the value will be cleaned up by drop unless ownership of the data has been moved to another variable. Nice. Understandable. Now I understand why people say that Rust is that kind of language. You have to put some work, you have to put some time in Rust, and then only it's like fluent. then only you can get fluent in it. Rust does not let return multiple values using a tuple as shown in listing 4.5. Hey, what if I create a language for ChatGPT and then I give ChatGPT to write that language in like not by and I say ChatGPT to not do any mistakes? Will it do? My theory is that it will do a lot of mistakes because it has not because ChatGPT have never seen that language, never used that language before. So writing such a new language on which the which was not present in its training data, it will be little hard for ChatGPT. It will be little hard for those GPUs. People say UI is hard. UI UX is hard. I'll give you a challenge. Design a system, design a PCB which gives out a signal which if fed into oscilloscope draws the UI on the screen of the oscilloscope. So returning ownership of parameters, function main. Okay, what is here? While this works, taking ownership and then returning ownership with every function is a bit tedious. What if we want to let a function use a value but not take ownership? It's quite annoying that anything we pass into is also need to be passed back if we want to use it again. Okay, S2 len S1. Huh? What is it? S1 string from hello. S2 len calculate len s1, will it compile? The ownership of variable follows the same pattern with every time assigning a value to another variable moves it. When a variable that includes data on the heap goes out of scope, the value will be cleaned up by drop unless ownership of the data has been moved to another variable. Perfect, very good. While this works, taking ownership and then returning ownership with every function is bit tedious. Perfect. Correct. They're saying very correct. But if we want to let a function use a value but not take ownership, it's quite annoying that anything we pass into it also needs to be passed back if we want to use it again. In addition to any data resulting from body of function that we might want to return as well. Any data resulting from the body of the function that we might want to return as well. Okay, this does not put that in addition to any data resulting from the body of function. This does not let return multiple values using a tuple as shown. Just does let return multiple values using a tuple as shown in listing 4.5. Okay, we passed s1 here, and we got s comma length. Still. What if? Okay, I should get an online Rust compiler. Compile. GDB is the goat. GDB is the goat. If I do s1, it will work. It's gonna work. Yeah, it will work. It works. If I put s2 here, yeah, it will work. If I put s1 here and then I try to run it, it should give an error. Exactly. Here has been error. Here is an error. What if I do is s1 and return this let? This is an error. What if I do let len? This is an error. Variable is immutable by default. I have to put mut here. Now it worked. Okay.